All right, guys, Brian Walsh here again from Entrepreneur Theatre today. We are privileged to be sitting with Mr. James Smith. Now, there's a nice, easy name to remember.
It's easy.
So, James is an investing specialist, a financial specialist, and we want to address an issue that I think is very common amongst entrepreneurs. And James, I'm going to lead you into this because, you know, we talk about entrepreneurship. People love to jump and say entrepreneurs are successful, but of course, you know, most are really self-employed. They create an opportunity. Something that I found amazing in South Africa is that many have a dream and they want to do something amazing, but then they get stuck running a business, making money, they make money, spend money, and there's no element around investing, there's no element around saving, there's no element about creating wealth. We just want to make money, but we don't want to create wealth. And I mean, I know this is your forte. It's not about just making money, it's about what we do with the money that's critical. Right. So what is the key, and where did it come from, that whole message and your whole background in this field?
Well, it was really interesting. My father was a very, very brilliant man, very intelligent, and had worked really hard and spoke multiple languages and worked over 45 years. And all of his income that he made in his entire life, I've made in 1 week what he made in 45 years. And I'm not smarter than him, I'm not a better man than him, I don't have all the talents that he had, but I was able to do that. And so the question is, well, how did you do that when he wasn't able to do that? And you mentioned entrepreneurship and how to be an entrepreneur, and what's important is people are taught at the university how to make a living, but they're not taught how to make a life. And when you look at the world economy, we're in South Africa, which is an amazing country. The continent of Africa is an amazing continent. It is made up of all of these cultural patch quilt of wonderful cultures. But we have all the minerals and we have all of these hard assets, and yet we're allowing other countries to take advantage of us in Africa. Not just South Africa, but other aspects of Africa, where other countries target you and they're taking advantage of you. And you're giving them the best you have and getting really pennies in return for what you have. And many of us as entrepreneurs, we have a good idea, but we're too close to our situation to where we don't have a global view. So I mentioned, like, it's being at 75,000 feet above the world, looking down. And I travel a lot, I travel all the time. And when you really see things that are going to happen in the future, which is what I've become really good at, all of that information is huge for anybody watching this right now. Because if somebody can show you what's probably going to happen in the future, if you're an entrepreneur, why wouldn't you want to know that? But some people think they know everything, and you can't tell them anything. And one of my favorite personal stories is I have a really awesome black man with 2 other black men that pick up my garbage at my house. And I live in a monster house. It's a huge, very expensive house. In South Africa, my house would be millions and millions of rand. I mean, it's a big house. Yeah. And my garbage men know me and I know them. I talk to them. I've helped my garbage men own their own homes. And they have a limit of how much garbage I can put out in front of my house. I can put as much as I want because my garbage men and I, we know each other. I give them bottles of water. They say, you're the only man in this neighborhood that even talks to us. Yeah. And I know their names, I know their kids' names. I could put a dead body out front of my house and they would probably take it. And I mean that as a joke. But the point is, you get what you give, and what goes around comes around. And if I can help a garbage man, my garbage men, now they've taught me how a garbage truck works. I didn't know that. Not that I want to be a garbage man, but you can learn from other people if you open yourself up. So when I come back here to South Africa, we're going to go into some things. And most people that speak at events and stuff, they fly in and they fly out, and they really don't know what's going on. I mean, they'll real quickly do some Google and they'll pull it in and go, and then they'll say stuff. They really don't even know what they're talking about. I met with a big union in South Africa yesterday. I met with a huge financial institution that's in South Africa. I'm involved in South Africa. I have partners in South Africa. I'm investing in South Africa. They're investing in other countries. So this is not, the way that I make different than other people is anyone can talk a good game, because talk is cheap. You can tell your wife you love her. Sounds nice. That doesn't mean squat until you show your wife you love her.
Yeah.
And how often do you have to do that?
Right.
On a regular basis. Because when you stop showing her, the words mean nothing. So when I say I'm involved in South Africa, I'm also involved in other countries. I have a friend that has moved to Senegal, which is a French-speaking country. He's very involved there in making a difference. And so he's able to go to Senegal because his business makes him enough money so he can go serve. And we all are called to serve. I know billionaires. I do shows with billionaires on a regular basis. I had breakfast with Steve Forbes 2 weeks ago, who's a very wealthy man. The CEO of Microsoft and I've had dinner with him probably 100 times, and we're very good friends. We've written articles together. That doesn't mean anything unless you understand the context that you can have all the money in the world, but money won't make you happy unless you share it and improve everybody's life around you. You know, I have 3 boys. My 3 boys don't have jobs. They're all 3 entrepreneurs. My oldest boy is just at 30 years old. His net worth right now, he's controlling $45 million US of real estate. And he did it without going to a bank, without going to mortgage companies, and I taught him how to do that. And so you as a dad, you as a mom, you as a brother and a sister, we all have people we love and care about, and you might be the person that's an entrepreneur going, you couldn't teach me anything, but I bet I can teach your child. I bet I can teach your sister who needs some help. And so sometimes it's not just you, it's your sphere of influence that might need help beyond you. And that's really what I'm supposed to do in life. You know, with you, interviewing me, you're doing what you're supposed to do in life. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do in life. And a lot of people aren't doing what they want to do in life. And I ask people on the plane, and I travel around, what do you do? And then I ask them, why do you do it? And they say, well, because I have to. Why do you live where you live?
Yeah.
Well, because I have to. So I want to get past the have to and do what you dreamt of doing when you were a little boy or a little girl, and making the world come true. And if you become a player and not a fan, sometimes people will say, well, South Africa, man, they have the best fans. Well, see, to me, that's an insult.
I get it, yeah.
It's a big insult. When I tell you you're a great fan, I'm insulting you, because I don't want to be a fan. People dress up and they wear other people's names on their back, and they jump up and down and scream and paint their faces for a team. And see, I know the players, and the players don't want to be you, so why do you want to be them?
Yeah.
And so my goal is to turn fans into players so they can participate and do things they didn't think they could do. In South Africa, only 3% of South Africans will make it financially. That's the real number.
Yeah.
Kiyosaki wrote a book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, and in his book he's talking about the U.S., and he's talking about 5% of people will make it. Well, in South Africa, it's not 5%, it's 3%. So why not be part of the 3 percentile? If I was going to name the name of the event we're going to do, it would be get in the 3 percentile. And I don't care if you're black, if you're what shade of brown you are, I don't care how round or slanted your eyes are, I don't care if you're white, I don't care if you're Afrikaans, I don't care what you are. If you breathe air and you're a human, the event's about taking the best of you and making the best out of you so you can accomplish great things. Life is short. I'm 63 and I feel like I'm 18, and I'm not. I'm now an old man. And relatively speaking, age is just a number. And so in my life, at your funeral, what do you want people to say about you? And so you have a chance now to rewrite your own history. And that's what I want people to do. I mentioned, a lot of things at my training, but it's all stuff that everyone in the audience can participate in.
And I think the key is, James, I was listening to a bit of you on stage yesterday, and I think what so many people get into is, like you mentioned, real estate, and I want to sort of correct this. James is not a person who simply teaches you how to invest in real estate. I mean,
right.
you look across the whole spectrum. You basically look at where money is moving, what the opportunities are, what the outcomes are. I mean, you're educating people completely at a financial level.
Right.
But saying using money as opposed to just spending it on arbitrary things. I mean, and I wanted to address that issue as well. Why, what seems clear to me is 99% of people are not conditioned to work with money in an effective way. I mean, we got this uphill battle because of all this emotional attachment and negativity around it.
Yeah.
But I mean, so we've got to learn how to work with money. We've got to learn how to use it in a way that it suits us.
Yeah, totally. I agree. And see, you mentioned the word real estate. If I give you a series of words and I say stock market, if I say car, if I say watch, in your mind you might think of a cheap watch, and I might think of a Rolex or Ulysses Nardin or Louis Vuitton or Mont Blanc watch, which I collect watches. When I say car, you might think of a basic car, and I'm thinking of a Ferrari or a Mercedes AMG, which I have. So when you say real estate, sometimes people think negative, because I can show you in South Africa how you can go under financially by investing in real estate by not buying the right property, right? So it's not real estate, it's what you buy, where you buy, how you buy, when you buy, and then your exit strategy. And so, I'm helping South Africans right now, live, while we're talking, investing in real estate here, put the money together here, and then I'm showing them how to do it without banks here, and then I'm showing them how to invest in other countries to where the money stays in another country if you want to, legally, without breaking any laws in the beautiful country of South Africa. Yeah. So that's how I'm a little different. And so it's making your money work for you while you sleep. Anybody can work while they're awake. That's what you're taught at the university. Yeah. But what we teach at this class is how to make money when you're asleep. And that's the difference.
And it doesn't. And you spoke about it's not just for people that have lots of money. It's for anyone that is earning a reasonable income to start to diversify and utilize it effectively.
You have to get started somewhere. Yeah. And by the way, this isn't important. This isn't some snake oil, sleazy, get rich quick, buy a program and rub cheese on your neck and you become wealthy. This is about systematic, day by day effort. And I like to use a 5-year term, because if you give me 5 years, in everyone's life in 5 years, something dramatic will happen to you. Your sister will pass away. Boom. One of my friends was killed in South Africa in an accident recently, and it just caused massive chaos in the family. Yeah. And so we have things that happen to us. So in a 5-year run, if you can give me 5 years without get rich quick, just systematic, we can radically change and do a makeover with you. And that's realistic, that's honest, and that's real.
Yeah. Okay, so I mean, you're committed, you're going to be back here, and you're going to bring the programs and the support and the continuous element. And the posse, as we say, yeah. And it's not about being an entrepreneur and making money, it's about what we do with that money and going out there and generating true wealth on a consistent basis. I mean, I think this is exciting, because this is the often forgotten message. All the complications of running business, we think that's where the problem is. But so often it is just we focus in on just earning money so we can spend it, as opposed to how we use money.
I agree. Yeah.
James, it's been an honor, and we look forward to seeing you shortly and sharing your experience on a continuous basis.
I appreciate it. Thank you so much, Brian.